How y'all doing, Internet? This is your friends, Rink and Rosso, and this week we're doing a special edition on shipping. So, unfortunately, my better half, Mr. Rink, he's out on commission right now, so it falls upon me, your other lovely co host, to keep you informed on what we're up to and things that you can help grow your $100 into a million. So, first, I want to give a quick shout out to our corporate sponsors. And when we get corporate sponsors, something will go there. Until then, you guys are just getting this footage straight from the source. So I'm first want to lead into some of the sales that we've had this week, and then we're going to go into the actual meat and potatoes of shipping and how it's done. So first, I'm going to start down here. We've sold a fair amount of games, video games, toys, whatnot. This was an early purchase for us. A hat. I'll be honest with you, I thought it'd be much better. We bought it for $3. We sold it for $6.90, $7.58. Shipping was 4 or 5. We made only a dollar or two. So this just proved that just because something has nostalgia on it doesn't mean it's nostalgic. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, we thought it'd be a good purchase, but it didn't sell as well as we would like. Garden gloves, more toys, a little bag that we got from the Goodwill bins, which we do go to every so often, action figures, chemicals, and video games. Okay, chemicals, as we've said before, they are good money makers. Obviously, if you weren't allowed to sell them on eBay, we wouldn't have them. There's the reason why you can't see your uranium, on eBay. But you do have to take extra precautions. You have to not pay extra, but you have to declare it when you're buying their postage for ground transport only. That way, saying, "Hey, we don't have to worry about a pressurized aerosol can going up into a depressurized airplane," and how that would happen. So, no hassle, no huss, no fuss, no muss, but play honest, and the world will treat you a little better. But enough of that. We're going to go into the exciting world of Rink and Rosso shipping. So, when we first started Rink and Rosso, don't forget, we ran this out of my spare room, which y'all can see behind me. And yet again, we have shipping galore. Look at all this. And yet again, we didn't pay anything for these racks out of our pocket. We just put in our initial investment, and the business bought these for us. Okay, my associate, the better half, Mr. Rink, he has one in his garage. I have two at my place because I hold more inventory. The usual process is that we list, we bring over the shipping gets it out. So for shipping, when we first started, there was major learning curve for us. We had to go down to the local print shop to print off the on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Okay, or we actually did it at the not the basement, the internet cafe that was in my better half, Mr. Rink's apartment complex. We logged in there. We filled in information. It was a big pain. Okay, we really were struggling. Okay, and then on top of that, we didn't know exactly where to get the boxes. Because don't forget, we don't ship anything ourselves. This is our first time, and now we had to get something to, I believe, Missouri. Okay, by that next day, we had to get out of the system. So we went to Home Depot. We bought boxes there. We bought bubble wrap there because they had a moving section, and we just hand fisted along until we learned to get better. And we learned to develop. We learned to grow. So we just have a couple things here that we think would be good for you to have. Okay, if you want to ship part time, full time, as a hobby, as a source of income, whatever, just things that make sense to ship. Okay, to have to ship, as well as just things that if you need to use it for shipping things for your personal life. I don't know. If you have someone you want to mail a care package to, now you know how you can use the system. So I'm going to start with the easy one. Everyone should have this. It is a measuring tape. Naturally, this has a lot of good purposes. This is obviously the biggest one, length, width, height. Okay, you want to know exactly what the dimensions are of the package you're sending, because the carrier, if you get the wrong dimensions, the carrier will sometimes like to charge you extra after the fact. So it's better that you get it right the first time rather than have to risk the customer going down to their local post office, paying the additional $2 and change and missed shipping that was owed, and then you'd have that negative experience because they might not even want to deal with it. Don't blame them. Wouldn't be fun. Okay. On top of that, we have, next big one, tape gun with tape. Pretty straightforward. Much easier to tape boxes closed and down, whatnot, compared to you just doing it with your bare hands. And tape is one of the volume items that every bit is part of that overhead. Okay, this is just part of the expense of this and bubble wrap and everything else. Okay, you have to be able to get it good quality, obviously, but for cheap. We bought, I would say, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are usually 6, 7 high. Okay, we're on our last one, but we bought this 6 months ago. So that just shows you how much you go through because you want to make sure it's secured, it's closed. You don't want to risk anything getting caught in one of the gears of the post office or whatnot. Because if you have a poly mailer bag and something catches and tears, the post office will send a cute little letter saying, "Hey, we're sorry, it was damaged while shipping." But that's it. You're not really going to get anything, and then you're going to have to either make your client whole or you're going to have to do a refund, and you don't really want to do that. So you got to make sure everything's all tight, nice, and secured. And big test, classic one, the drop test. Basically, just making sure that when you ship something out, before you ship out, take it, drop it on the ground. If you don't feel any anxiety, if you don't feel any worry, it's ready to go. If you have it twinged out, more bubble wrap, more tape. Okay. On top of that, obviously, pretty cut and dry box cutters. Okay, you got to make sure that if you have some boxes that you need to kind of trim down, it's too tall, for example, you can cut down the corners more, so that way you can fold it into itself easier. Pretty straightforward. Also, when you're dealing with bubble wrap, good one to go for. Now, the biggest thing that we had. Oh, actually, before that, I don't want to spoil everyone's meal too much. I have to go through a couple other things. This one, classic electronic scale. Now, when we first got into shipping, we bought a scale that had the LED display on the front. It was attached as one unit, and that was good. It's just when we were shipping bigger, heavier things, the package would be larger than the base scale itself. And so it became impractical for shipping, at least, to use that because there's no way you could see the LED display, and you don't really want to guess on this. So what we did was we managed to get this one on eBay, on Amazon. Whew, for I would say $20, $30. Okay, it has a separate, you can plug it in, you have a battery pack on the back, whatever you want to do. It could be stretched a little bit. It even has little brackets on here, so if you want to just mount it onto your wall or something, you can. Easy enough. So you want to get a scale because it falls in with length, width, and height. If you don't have the right dimensions, it's going to make your day a whole lot worse. So one of the things that you have to think about is, great, you pay for the ship, you got the measurements perfect, you got the box weighed out, you got everything fantastic. Well, how are you going to get your label, though? Because you paid for it, and now what do? Well, with eBay, you are allowed to do it a couple different ways. You can either have it set up as a QR code emailed to you as you would like, or you could have him, send you on the app, save your your label as a PDF. We opted for both because in the beginning we would try using the little QR code, and you can do that at a self-service desk. You just walk up, you don't talk to anybody, you scan it, it prints, you stick it on, you drop it off, you're done. But that was impractical to us because there's still sometimes a line. Okay, the QR reader isn't always the cleanest because you're against your phone screen against this. It's not the best, to be frank. And you just had to deal with the unknowns of you might be planning to go after work, or when the post office is usually closed to beat the foot traffic. Oops, the post office door is locked because they just lock their doors at night for whatever reason. So that's something you have to consider. What we did was we got a printer and we just printed on 8.5 by 11s. We took it, we folded it over, and we just taped it down using this tape, and we used it like that. But that also grew to be a frustration because that means it required more tape to use. It required an actual functioning printer with expensive toner and ink. Okay, and if the printer broke, then we're back to square one. So we made do with the printer for a while, but then my better half, Mr. Rink, he decided that the best thing that we can do now is get thermal printers. In the beginning, I can't lie, I was skeptical because I'm one of those that there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. What works, works. But after getting the thermal printer is a fantastic idea. What you do is basically you can go on the UPS, and we'll get into this in a bit, but you can go on the UPS and you get thermal printer labels, and you just run it through the machine, scan it, it pops it on, you just take it, you slap it, you seal it, you're good. I'd say we got 10,000 of these, and I think we've sold less than 1,000 items, so we've barely even scratched the surface. And yet again, we need more. We reach out to UPS. Works like a charm. So on top of that, you have to figure out, great, you have this. What are you going to ship your item in? Now, you should already have done this at this point, but you still need to figure out boxes because you don't want dead weight or dead space where you're shipping something the size of an apple, but you're shipping in a box meant for like a big bulky jacket or like a TV. You don't want to pay for that extra space because then it's just wasting money at that point. So in the beginning, we really struggled. We went to Home Depot, and that was a dollar or two, if not more, a box. That was a couple bucks. And that when you're dealing with an item that you sold for, we bought for $2, you sold for 20, so you have only 18. You're $18 so far. Okay, shipping $6 or $7, eBay fees $7 or $8, box $2 or $3. You went down from now $5 to now like from well, you could have had 8 or 9. So you have to kind of think about that. Now, obviously, the gold standard, in my personal opinion, is Amazon boxes. Amazon boxes are perfect. They're durable. They can fit most things comfortably on their own because we deal with items that are either small or big. We don't have a whole lot of medium sizes. So Amazon boxes are good. One thing that we've used, one resource that we really use and we really like is UPS boxes. We set up an account through UPS saying we would like to get shipping boxes and shipping tape off of you, shipping thermal labels, whatever. And it was challenging because in the beginning they would push back on us, saying, "Oh, well, we've done this for you, and we haven't seen you sold anything yet. We haven't seen you sold anything on our platform." So we had to reach out to UPS support and say, "Guys, we sell on eBay. We sell here are tracking numbers of labels that we've sold, but we sell on eBay. So sorry, we're not buying directly through you, but we're still buying through you. We're buying from you." So they kind of backed off at that point, but UPS has been a godsend. It allows us to get small, medium, and large boxes totally free delivered to our houses. So we got that going for us. But one thing that you have to consider with a box is it's still weight. No matter what, weight is weight. And so we're thinking, well, we don't want to get even a small box and have to be forced to pay for the dimensions of the item rather than, or of the box. We're not going to just pay for the dimensions of the item itself. For example, this would fit into a small postal UPS size box. Kicker is the box would be, I would say, 6 by, I would imagine, 9 by 5, whatever. It'd be bigger than this. Well, why are we paying for all that space when we just want to ship this? Yeah. Well, that's when we came up with the next brilliant idea, which is poly mailers. Poly mailers are obviously plastic. Can't beat it so far. When we do, then we'll go for a cheaper option. But what it allows you to fit bigger, bulkier items that wouldn't fit into your conventional box while still allowing you to kind of get the most bang for your buck. We buy these at the volume of these cost us roughly between 6 to 10 cents a bag. We have small poly mailers. These ones right here. These are, most things that we sell can fit in this, video games, some shirts, shoes, stuff like that. Sometimes we'll just tape 2 of them together and we'll kind of make it a little bigger. Okay, so we have the smalls. We have the mediums right here, decent size, and then we have the largest, 2 foot by 2 foot. Shoot the bowling ball in these. Post office didn't like me, but can I say? I pay their salary. So we use these for most of our shipping items. I think that if it wasn't for the poly mailers, it would be a lot more difficult to ship, but we've figured that out. So that's what I would suggest for you in terms of shipping supplies. Apologize, everyone. I'm trying to remember all my list. I even made a list, and I still forgot some of it. So, no, I think that this is all that you really need to start. Obviously, newspapers, bubble wrap, brought that up a couple times. Love it. Okay. And then one bonus item that we didn't really think we needed until we got this, the last one, I promise all of you. Okay. Lint roller. We're dealing with clothes. I have a cat. Okay, we're dealing with things that people are going to wear and use. They don't buy it just for the sake of buying it. They buy the shirt because they want to wear the shirt. So you want to make sure when you send something, it's clean, it's crisp, it's nice. Obviously, once we drop it off in the post office hands, they could just be playing basketball with it in the back, and we wouldn't be none the wiser. But when we deliver it, when we ship it, we want to make sure it goes out with pride and joy. So if you get one of these, or if you already have one, that's great because it just adds that extra level of professionalism that you are trying to display. So other than that, everyone, I believe that is all the exciting news for Rink and Rosso shipping. Obviously, I will try to post more videos on things that we have done, things we've sold, maybe get a behind-the-scenes look on shipping. We're just trying to make sure that we don't show any of our customers' information online unless we know that's allowed. So other than that, everyone, I hope that y'all have a fantastic week. Y'all are staying out of trouble, and we will see y'all next time. Cut.